Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
You mean shenanigans? Oh! You're talking about shenanigans, right?
How do I look when I go like this?
I mean, you look all right,
You
but
look like the dude. You look like the
Am I the
man.
dude?
You look like
yeah,
the
right,
man.
the dude. So
Yeah, you're the man.
and I hit the button, which means that now technically I kind of have to say, "Welcome to
Punkass
and Random Heroes Cheeky Shenanigans."
Shenanigans. Yeah.
My name is
did.
Jesse, aka Random Hero.
My name's Nick, aka Punkass.
And with us, we also have my very good friend Abby.
I'm Abby.
Abatha.
No, it's Flabby,
Oh.
aka Flabby.
Oh, okay.
Little flab. You can hear that on there. All right.
Oh, my
man.
God! Welcome.
This episode is gonna be fun.
This is going to be an interesting
Hope
one.
you guys like potty mouth.
Well,
Yes. We have an epic potty mouth sitting right here, and
my-
also
feel
funny.
like
And
I
I'm really kind of excited to hear you tear into Nick a little bit.
Oh my God, I would
Yeah.
be nice. See, not just for that, I want to be nice to him. I mean,
See?
he makes it too
No.
easy though. He makes it too easy.
Is it my face?
I don't know. You got some weird street sign tattoos going on right there. I don't know.
Well, what
what
about
does that
yours?
say?
What? Which one?
I don't. What do you mean? Which one?
Which
I always.
one?
You have another screen.
Oh,
right there.
this
Stage
is,
left.
This is stage left.
In case
This
you
is-
forget.
Yeah, in case
All
I
right.
forget where I need to be on stage.
That's
Yeah.
when he's
Now,
done jacking off.
Your
He knows
stage
which
is
way.
totally different. Yours is on the couch.
Oh my
Okay.
God. All right.
So,
I mean, if you want to go there, it'll be extra though. I'm not getting paid though, so you're gonna have to pay me.
Yeah, so far she's donating all of her time, Nick. Let's not.
Yeah.
push
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
we
Time
got
is
it.
money,
We
honey.
got it.
Oh my God. Shit. So we got to catch up a little bit. Tell us just a little bit about you or
About
what
me.
you like to do and
What
shit.
do I like to do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I went to the park today. I like to go to the park. I go to the park. I went with my dog. I got hit on by a single dad. Yeah. Well, see, not
Yeah.
single dad. Okay, he's not divorced yet, and I thought it was perfect happening today because I'm doing this. But I don't know what it is. Sidebar: I am a stripper. I dance on the side. So I deal with a lot of older divorcees or whatever that are trying to, get some. And I
Yeah.
was going to the park and they just flock to me. I don't know what it is, but I have my dog and then he wanted his kids to pet the dog. And then he sits down next to me after they get done petting, my kids playing. And I'm just standing there and he's like, I'm so hungover. I'm like, oh, cool. He's like, yeah, I'm getting a divorce. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's
I'm
why
like,
you're talking to me.
yeah, I was like, oh, I was wondering where this was going. Like, your kids are talking about your mom and everything, but he goes on being divorced, starts talking to me about my car, and then I go to leave, and he was like, so, I mean, you come, like, would you want my number so next time you're here, the kids can play? I'm like, oh, no. I was like, I'm sorry.
the play date pickup line.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's always the play date.
It's
It's
the
like,
play
oh, our
date.
kids seem to get along well. I'm like, my kid's 3. Like, he gets along with everybody. Like, that's just how it is. He's gonna love your kids. I'm not gonna like you more than likely.
That's one of the lines I always
Is that
use.
the single parent
Yeah.
pickup line? The
For-
play
You
date?
do
Yeah,
that?
the play- yeah.
the play date. See, I've never done that. I've never hit on a
Well,
single dad.
usually-
You don't really have to.
I know. I was like, I usually just like, nice bow. Do you want to get a beer? Like, looks like you drink it up. Like, let's get it.
It's usually the guy's way of trying to, get a date or pick up on a chick. They
Yeah, like
use the
see you
kids.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
and it's
like-
fucked up using your kids as little pawns of warfare. There, like, come
What
on,
the
be
hell else
romantic.
can you use them for?
You walk
Yeah, I
up
know.
and you say, "Sup, little ma? Like, looking good. What's your number?" I don't know. That works pretty good with me. If you can make me laugh, like, that's fine.
Now,
None of that'll be happening today at all.
Since you do that on the side, do you have to worry about a lot of stalkers as well?
No,
No.
oh no. But I'm like one of those dancers. I've been doing it for about 5 years now. I'm kind of over the like one and dones. Like I don't go walk around the club. I find the one. I find the one that's gonna be my sugar daddy. Recently,
How do you pinpoint that out?
Yeah.
they sit by themselves and they look like they just got out of the gym, kind of like they used to be really overweight. And now they're
yeah.
out of the gym and they're drinking seltzer water most of the time, not even drinking alcohol. And they're like, "Yeah, I quit drinking." I'm like, "Oh, why are you here then? Like, what's up?" Because they serve alcohol in the clubs in Portland, and so
Yes.
yeah, and so usually like you can pinpoint it when people are drinking. You can kind of tell what kind of people they're there, what they're there for.
That's a perfect segue because one of the main things I wanted to bring up first was like I've always wanted to have a stripper in here to kind of talk a little bit about strip club etiquette and kind of the
There is
the
no
do's
etiquette.
There's got to be some.
I feel
there's
like
an
there
etiquette towards
is
the dancers.
Depends. I feel like it depending on the
And-
guy. If you're
yeah.
like
Yeah.
fat and gross,
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be like, don't touch me.
I guess I'm gonna need that rule.
I mean, you're not
No.
really supposed to touch the dancers anyways. Like,
Right.
I mean, technically not, but that's how you get dances. You gotta touch them and kind of let them. You're like, oh.
Because
Yeah.
usually
It's
when
like-
I'd ask for a dance, they'd usually like, they're like,
Say
o-
no.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. That's how I am.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, don't come in aggressive about it. Don't just like walk up and slap my ass and squeeze it. Like, I want to see at least $5 first before you start touching anything. I don't care if it's on my stage or you're paying for my drink. Like,
Now,
don't talk or
when
touch.
a stripper
Wow.
kissed me on the lips afterwards,
Oh.
what does that
Oh
mean? Is that gross?
That's terrible.
That kind of grossed me out a
That's
little bit.
bad.
because I
No,
didn't
that's
know when-
bad. Oh no, honey, I
It
wouldn't
was a
even
long
kiss
time.
me.
It
I
was-
wouldn't even. You don't even want to kiss me if I gave you a dance.
What if you were like really into the guy or at least feeling him a little bit that showed up? You know, like you guys had a good talk and then like things are going well.
I mean, I'm not gonna kiss the guy, like, because I
Okay.
know what I've been doing, and I'm not trying to share that upon him. I'm not talking about at the club. I'm just talking to outsource,
In
like,
general.
In general, there's been a lot of stuff going on there.
Well, here, I'm going to do it now, though, since I always ask it for
Yeah.
new guests. Dude, what's like your most disastrous sex story, or like
My
most
disastrous
or
sex-
embarrassing?
I listen to your
Or
podcast.
funny.
You don't ask everybody that.
Usually, the guest.
The
Usually,
first time he's asked every
okay.
guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
my most disastrous one, like recently or like over my whole life.
just like
Whole life.
your whole life, like the
Oh.
one you most remember, the one that's most fucked up that's never gonna leave your head.
I've got another one on deck
I
for today if we need it.
told, a guy I had to pee really bad, and he had me kind of like bent over, face down. He had me bent over, straightened out my legs, so I was basically laying like a plank, and he was fucking me. Well, he kept pushing down on my back temples and pushing me down. I had to pee so bad, so he's basically pushing down on my bladder, and so
Oh.
finally I just pulled the whole "I'm coming" and peed everywhere.
You used that.
I
Okay.
told him. Well, it's like the same thing. From what I hear, it's like the same thing, right?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
is it really the same
but,
thing, or is it
it
not?
was me, but I was very consciously aware that I was peeing.
Yeah,
I was
right.
not coming. I was peeing. And afterwards, I was like, "Oh my god, he made me squirt!" And then I like laughed about it. I ended up telling later. It was this guy I sleep on and off with him for about 10 years, and so I was kind of comfortable enough to tell him later, be like, "Oh, by the way, that was a pissed." Like,
Oh
I
my
peed.
god.
Dude, that's funny.
Yeah, so that was more.
That's amazing.
That's more disastrous towards him. The one that I guess was more.
Like, have you ever got any, like
Traumatizing.
jizz in your eye?
Always,
Or-
always.
That's
I
Nick's
asked for that.
story.
I asked for that. You got your own jizz in your eye? Oh, you got his jizz in your eye? What? Why are you pointing at him?
Because I was fucking with him,
Yeah,
but
you
you totally
were-
bought
yeah,
it.
you-
Oh my god, I was like, oh lord. No, the most disastrous, it was kind of like, it wasn't traumatizing in a bad way for me because I was really close with the guy. So back when I lived in Spokane, they called me Ping. And the
Ping?
reason, yeah, they called me Ping.
Like ping pong?
Yeah, exactly like ping pong, and this is why. So I had this
Oh.
group of friends, and we
Wait
were
a
kind of
minute.
like having orgies on and on. Not like orgies, but like we'd get
What
fucked
kind
up.
of fucking life do you live?
This is amazing.
When you stop giving a fuck, there's like, you can do anything.
Yeah.
If you really think, this is the prime example of anything you put your mind to, you can do. And I wanted to fucking do that, so.
Why not?
We would get drunk, and then my friend would be fucking this one dude, and I'd be fucking this one dude, and then like I'm fucking this dude, and we all finish, and like getting out, and like it was in a trailer at some grow op, and it was literally like a huge grow op that had a trailer inside of it, and we were like in the trailer just fucking around. So there was like weed everywhere, and like
Oh, man.
it was great. Well, I stand up and we go out, and I'm like about to smoke a cigarette, and my buddy that I was just fucking was like, "Hey, you gotta come back inside." I was like, "What?" Okay, and I come back inside. He's like, "Bend over." I was like, "What do you mean bend over?" He's like, "Bend over." I bend over. He reaches inside me, pulls out a ping pong ball.
What?
And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, "I put it in you halfway through and you didn't notice." He's like, "And I almost forgot about it." And I was like, "Oh, so they're like, ping pong." Like, he put it in his safe. He's like, "I'm going to put this in my safe now." So I wonder if it's still there. But yeah, that was the most kind of thing where I was
Oh,
like, should I
man.
feel violated over
like,
this?
That's like the
But-
number one. That's
That
number,
is.
Yeah.
No
number
one's going
one.
to top these stories ever.
Yeah, no, I wasn't traumatized. I was more kind of like, I gotta stop drinking. Like, I was like, how drunk am I? With Rumple shots. I was
Yeah.
drinking Rumple shots, and they taste so good. It's like peppermint patty that gets you fucked up.
That's roughly when I started stopped drinking, was when people had to pull ping pong balls out of my ass, you know?
It wasn't my ass. It wasn't
Oh,
my.
what?
I wouldn't know if it was in my ass. Trust me, I know when things are in there. Sometimes.
Well, man.
You asked the question.
I know.
I'm
right.
just answering.
I'll balance it, and I'll tell another one. Because I've given, I think, 2 already, but
Yeah, the bubblegum one.
Yep.
Oh, I already said that one?
Well, it was like in the beginning. I don't know if it ever got on air.
Oh, yeah. I think it was on a throwaway episode.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell this one again then. So there was this this girl who was like on and off booty call for a span of years, kind of like what you're talking about. And one night she was apparently just wasted on wine and hit me up and was like,
Yep,
hey, you want to
that's
come
it.
over? My
That was
roommate
it.
will be gone for a couple hours. You know, daughter's asleep. Let's fool around. Like, okay, cool. So drive over there. And at first, you know, she goes down on me and stuff. And then we do, you know, a couple good rounds of boning. And then, so that's all fine. But then her roommate's like going to come home and text her or something. So she's like, all right, you got to bounce. Cool. I know the drill. Get in my car and I'm driving back from Marysville to Lake Stevens. And all of a sudden I feel like this tingly sensation like everywhere right around there. And I'm thinking like,
What?
yeah, I was like, this girl just gave me like
Icy
super
hot.
crabs or
Super
icy hot.
on the balls.
Something. I'm
I've done
freaking
that.
out. But I'm also extremely tired at this point. So I get home and I just kind of fall over on the couch and wake up in the middle of the night. And it's still kind of itchy and a little burning even. And I'm like, fuck, I got to go get tested in the morning, like right away.
Oh my God.
And I go and I take a leak and my fingers get stuck. And I look down and there was like 3 to 4 chewed pieces of gum.
Oh my God.
Everywhere.
Like,
And
it
I'm
had to
like-
be wintergreen. That
Yeah.
was like wintergreen gum or
And
something.
it was the mint that was
Yeah,
making it
it's
all
gotta-
tingly and all
Oh my
that.
God.
And so at first I crack up laughing and I'm so relieved. And then I go, wait a minute, now I got to cut all this out.
Oh my
Like-
God, it was in like your pubes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
it was so bad, but
Oh,
it was
no.
way better than knowing that like you just got an STD that you could literally
I
feel
still
in
would
an
have gone
hour.
and get checked.
No, I
still
did,
would've
I
done
did.
it. Oh, yeah.
But it was a lot of relief to know that that's at least not what I was feeling.
It's super crowded.
Have you ever like
Super
woken up
crabs.
the next day and been like, I gotta get myself checked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I do
Definitely.
it-
I do it regularly. You never know what's on the floor at the clubs, and you never know who you come in
Yeah.
contact with. And like I said, I like to drink, so.
Definitely do it after this show too.
Yeah. Jesse likes to rub his butt on the desk.
You never know. I do some weird shit at home too. Like,
Such
You know,
as?
I
nothing
bet
that
you're on
weird.
Pornhub, aren't you?
I'm not on
You're
Pornhub.
fuck-
Yeah.
I've asked that quite a bit, though. I am definitely asked that quite a bit. I'm not on Pornhub unless some of you assholes out there put my shit on there. But
Which
no.
would not be cool if it's not what
I'm
you
kind of one of
said,
those
you know?
girls, like, more guys get freaked out of me because I'll whip out my phone in the middle of it, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to record this shit. Like, and they're like, okay, like, and stuff. As soon as you whip out
Yeah.
the camera with me, I'm just like, cheese and smile, balls to the wall, balls to the back of my mouth. But, you know what I mean? Like, I just get, like, I'm a performer. That's what I want to do. I got some really good slow-mo videos. I'll, like, make GIFs out of, like, deep throat and stuff. Ooh,
Damn.
my parents aren't
So
gonna
like
hear
you
this.
want to be like in the industry, right?
I could. I mean, I'm not against it, except for when I watch porn and then I realize I have to fast forward through almost all of it to like the last 2 minutes, and I like.
What you actually enjoy watching?
Yeah, exactly. And well, and like getting up to that point, I'm like exhausted afterwards after I watch porn. I'm like, whoo, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, I get tired. Like, there's a lot going on there. I need to take like my Adderall or something.
Well, it's just
Oh, I'm sure that's in ready supplied
yeah,
out.
right.
You
They're
know,
just
on a
fucking
porn site.
mainlining it in there.
It's just like the girls that like I've been around or like my girlfriend. You have like this open mind, like don't give a shit attitude.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
throwing me off a little bit.
Why
It's-
is it throwing
you-
you out?
you
You
used
thought I
to
was like a
repress
stuck-up
people?
bitch or something?
No, it's just I'm not used to chicks being like, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
I know.
this and this and
Yeah,
fucking
no, I'm
ping
very
pong ball
open.
in
Yeah.
my ass. Like,
It's not man's.
It is now. I mean, that's what we're going with.
You guys are right.
Or in the
whatever.
back of your throat, I
It's
guess.
Whatever. They're everywhere. No, I just like I've came to terms with it. Like in high school and growing up, like I legit still have like a good group of girls that I went to high school with that I never met. But fucking hate me. They just fucking just do not like me
girls
at
seem
all.
to do
Why?
that.
And
Yeah.
they've never met me because I always hung out with all their guy friends. Like, I know their guy friends, and I hung out with their guy friends, fuck some of them, whatever. It's like, I didn't know you guys anything. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know you, but they don't like me because I was kind of, like, open and free. And so in high school, that's very, like, they slut-shame you for that. And then,
Yeah.
like,
Yes, they do.
once I got out of that, once I really became my own person, I'm like, what I do with my body is none of your goddamn business. And what you think about me is none of my business either. Like, that
Yeah.
is not, like, whatever. I'm like, I make my money. I take care of my kid. I take care of my life. I hold my own. So might as well do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah,
like, and that's
I've
it.
always loved strong, independent women for that very reason, because I grew up in like a repressed kind of environment around my mom in church and stuff like that.
Of course, Nick did too. You look like you really repressed.
I guess, yeah. I blew up.
One of the trailer park boys. Yeah.
Totally. But
It's
like
true, partially true.
yeah, it's just
How are you
it's
partially
a
in a
difference in
trailer?
like how you're wired and what your neuroses and hangups are. And then as you get older and you meet more people like yourself who just come at life from a totally new angle. Like I just love having these conversations because it's so true. Slut shaming is like the last thing anyone should be doing, because who doesn't want to get laid?
Yeah, who doesn't want to get the rocks off?
Well, like I've talked
exactly.
about it with Jesse before.
Yeah.
Usually, if guys have a high number, it's cool. When girls have like a slutty,
Yeah,
like a high
they're like,
number,
ew,
it's slutty. Yeah.
ew, yeah, and I'm like, no, like I like to get fucked, and I like to fuck. Like it's just like in the whole cat and mouse like game of it. And like once you just are accepted, and my thing was I was opened up to people like that. When I moved to Spokane, I met a really good, solid group of people that were just kind of like, you know, let your freak flag fly and like do what you got to do, and like. It was really like it kind of turned my mind around on things, and
So how many of guys have you just wanted to fuck just one night and they came back saying like I love you?
I don't remember their names.
I love you.
I've had a couple that they get, and if anyone knows me, if any of my friends are listening to this, they know I have a hard time with relationships for the sole fact they get clingy.
Yeah.
They get clingy. I start fucking with them, give them kind of the boyfriend experience, take their good dick for a while, and then they start calling me. They want to hang out all the time. They ask how I am, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I can't talk to you, and I'll like try and be nice. I'm like, oh, I could date this person. I'll date them for like a few months, and I'm like, you gotta go. And they all had the best dick though. They all had the best dick, and I'm like, I don't know where I fucked up with this. But it's good because after I go through like that kind of situation with a guy, we're end up friends afterwards, and I can just call him whenever and be like, let's fuck.
Wow.
And then most of the time they get girlfriends afterwards, and they either get the girlfriends pregnant or start dating them long term, and then hit me up when they're going through a shitty time.
Yeah,
and I'm totally fine with being the rebound.
And the rule's the same for men and women. The better like dick or pussy you have or whatever, the better you are at that, the less good of a person you have to be outside of that. You know?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I give a great blowjob, which means I can be a fucking bitch to you all the time because
Exactly.
I can suck your dick, and like you'll take it.
Do you laugh like at the smallest dicks then? That you
Oh
see?
my god. Okay. So last year there was a situation. It's gonna remain nameless. Just because I don't want to smash anybody on this, but it was just he was really hot. He was cool, but he was kind of boring. But I was like, whatever, he's hot. Like
I think she's talking about me so far.
I know, right?
Yeah, well, wait until I finish the story, and we'll still see if I'm talking about you or not. Well, I went and gave him a blowjob, and uncircumcised, didn't really mind it that much, but it didn't seem that big to me, and I was like, whatever. And then we waited a little bit longer, and then we ended up fucking, and it was just terrible. It was like it was a good 5-incher, but he was just bad. He just
bad at it.
Yeah, he was bad at it, and he had a small dick. Like if you got a huge dick and you're bad at it, that's fine. I'll take care of it. But you got a small dick.
You gotta
and
work harder. You gotta work harder.
Yeah, you're boring. He was just so boring, and he did this thing where he like would stick his tongue out kind of halfway, where he's kind of like.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like he was concentrating. And because he would do that slip out thing where it kind of slips out and you can feel it like break their dick on the side of your leg, like. And I always laugh at that. I'm like, sucks to suck. Like, I finished. We're good.
You would be a good stand-up comedian.
Yeah, you were telling me you want to do that.
I was thinking about trying it, but
you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna consider it. I've been doing a little research, watching like different comedians and everything, and
like I wouldn't want you to go like the Amy Schumer route. Maybe like Sarah Silverman, maybe a little bit.
I could even see you going like a female Anthony Jeselnik kind of thing, and he just did a new special on Netflix that is fire. It is so funny.
I was watching the guy, real stone faced.
Yeah.
He's real like.
And he has like
I don't
his
know why
own
you're laughing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like
I was just watching that the other night.
He's really good at like wordplay and completely doing like a false premise for the
and
joke.
he goes in a full circle, and you don't quite get it at first, and then he says that one thing, and you think about it, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
I like that abortion ending.
I didn't see the end of it. I fell asleep. Oh no, I fell asleep.
Oh my god, it is a really good special. I had to watch it twice because I was kind of not paying full attention the first time. And the second time, he is just fucking killing me. Like, and his stone-faced delivery is what sells it, Like, he's bored of his own show.
Else like that.
Patrice O'Neal. I was watching Patrice O'Neal, and he was kind of like that big black guy who just died of diabetes. And the only reason I watched that
I've
is because
heard
Joe
people
Rogan
talk
had
about that
mentioned
net,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, he had mentioned it on there, and I wrote it down because I listened to him at work, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, take a listen. He's hilarious. He's
Okay.
dead on hilarious. Super kind of racial humor
Yep.
and sexist humor, but to the point where you can't even get mad. Like, it's all true stuff. It's stuff you're
Yeah.
just saying that you're thinking, and he's just voicing it for all of us. It's really funny.
Because I was looking shit up on like stand-up tips, like
Yeah.
pointers, and they were saying when you write a sketch out, you want to write it how you would like talk to people. Because
Yeah.
when you
Oh,
try
God.
to write like a real sentence, you're trying
be
to
so
write like the
lost.
right grammar or
Yeah.
try to make
Yeah.
it lengthy. Like I'll be like,
Yeah.
hey dude, I'm gonna go outside, or try to make it shorter than that. You want
Yeah.
to try to connect with the crowd with
Mm-hmm.
how I would talk with you or you.
And the problem with me doing stand up is I write jokes how I talk, but how I talk is that kind of pompous.
Yeah.
I know all these words kind of
Yeah.
way, you know?
You gotta throw them out when no one's like paying attention, when they think you're just gonna say something small, and you just gotta whip out bodacious.
Yeah, yeah, and so I would love to like if you decide that you get to the point where you actually want to go try it. I've done it a couple times. Nick wants to do it. Like we could go and we could all
Like,
do
I
that the same night.
I want to go see.
I want to watch it first. Like
I was gonna say I want
Okay.
to watch it. I want to go see some beginner comedians.
Yeah.
And see how terrible they are.
Well, you guys
And
should come with
I know
me.
you bomb your first time.
Yeah, and I'll perform that night so you guys can watch and like to try and encourage you a little bit.
Yeah, but
and
that's
I'll
gonna
probably
be funny.
bomb.
Yeah, well, it'll be funny either way for us since we're your friends. We'll be like, oh my god, he's so shitty.
now it's like, do you have to prep for like hecklers too?
I was gonna say I'm gonna have a lot. I feel like
Yeah.
women are gonna hate me.
Here's the thing. At this stage, no one's gonna heckle you because everyone else in the audience is pretty much other people going up on stage.
Okay.
So I'm not saying you're gonna guarantee to get laughs, but none of the other comedians watching have ever been really rude about anything,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're just up there. And I remember this one like old white guy who went up there, and he didn't really have jokes. He just told these weird stories so that he could use the N-word in a comedy context.
Was he white?
He was white.
Oh,
he was kind of
no.
older, and he had kind of a southern thing going. So you're like, dude,
You
he
can't
just
do that.
the
You
whole
can't.
thing. He just wrote it all so he could go up there and say it.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, but yeah, no one's gonna be that mean. And the second time I did it, my very second set, which there's a video of, and it actually went over really well. There was a girl in the audience who thought that it was a participation allowed thing. So she wasn't trying to heckle, but she kept yelling and like trying to participate. And finally I was like, look, I'm not, can you just stop? Like,
Shut up.
Yeah, like-
pipe the fuck down.
because you basically are writing, you write, I call them like little songs, and you have to remember them in order. And sometimes I use my phone just to remember the order, but I've worked on memorizing the jokes and all that. You don't really want to leave a whole lot
See,
to improv.
Now, do you need to have multiple jokes? Like the route
yeah,
I
don't
want to do,
feel like I have
want to.
jokes. I just talk and people think it's funny.
Yeah, like I want to
Yeah.
do like the bit about the dog, but I feel like I can make that last 5 minutes, but still have funny little.
You don't need a joke to last 5 minutes like that. Like,
Right.
you're gonna draw. If it's about a dog, how are you gonna make that last 5
Well,
minutes? Tell me a 5
lot of
minutes
peanut
right
butter.
now.
No, it's just about how I grew up not like being emotionally attached to animals, and then I rescued a dog, and then they always want you to rescue dogs, how they want you to fucking like adopt African kids in Africa, and shit like that. Then like
I'm already gonna say pass.
like
pass.
at the end of it,
No.
well, these are just like the bullet points, and then at the
That's
end
a
of
bullet
it,
point.
at the end of it,
That
I
was
would
one
be
bullet
like,
point.
Yeah.
I would be like, if I had to choose between the dog or my girlfriend, I would save the dog. Shit like that. I was trying to work some shit out like that.
Well, you
Well, if
might
you have
want
a
to
good
actually write
girlfriend,
jokes.
you save the girlfriend, and you got a dog and a girlfriend. So
Yeah.
you got to save the girlfriend. Make them submissive.
And poor Lindsay, like she does get
You're
a
not
lot
gonna
of
fuck
shit
your
on this
dog.
show already.
well, I told her about
But
it.
Nick might.
I was like, you save the dog, you can't fuck the dog. Like you can.
Well,
Well, and here's the thing. It's not that you have to write jokes that are like a statement and then a punchline. It's like what I consider writing jokes is just any point in a story where you say something that you know is supposed to get a laugh. And so I've done that a lot, where I'll just start with a story, and then I start trying to find like either metaphors or other points to bring up that make it funny or something. You just want to have some of that prepared, at least in your mind ahead of time. Because if you just go up there and start talking and you see, 20, 30 people in front of you who are quiet, but maybe kind of judging a little bit, you're going to freeze up.
You just gotta go up there and talk shit to everybody you see.
Yeah.
well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I need help with writing. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
where
See, that's
you
kind of
would come
where
up-
I'm at
Yeah.
too. Is like being able to put it down on paper and like. I remember in college slightly being able to write some essays that I thought were just fucking hilarious. Teacher didn't think so too much, but It's because I would write it how I talked, and it's sometimes hard to follow the way I talk unless you're really paying attention. And sometimes I feel like my humor is not advanced, but really under surface. You got to think about it.
Did you have the same humor now as you did in high school?
Slightly. I was kind of bullied in high school. I was kind of bullied throughout elementary school and middle school and all that.
Were you fat? I was fat.
I wasn't fat.
Oh,
No.
I was.
God, no, I wasn't fat.
Flabby.
No, that's not flabby. Is just this asshole guy that sometimes I have sex with, and he calls me flabby. So I don't know what that has to say about anything.
They just get you to keep coming back.
And all this time, I thought she was gonna come here and give me some good dating advice or something.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm gonna go give my friend dating advice. Oh no, and that's why I was laughing. I was laughing the whole time after you asked me to give you dating advice. I'm like, this is gonna be good because I'm terrible at relationships. I'm one of those girls. You buy me a few beers, call me pretty, touch my butt. It's pretty much done deal.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy at that point. Unless like if your breath smells, I have a really thing with that. Or if you got it's the fingernails. Dirty fingernails.
Dirty
which is
or,
weird
like,
because all the
untrimmed,
guys
or-
I usually am with are like hands working dudes. And
Yeah.
like,
All right, so like I don't know.
you got nice
Those
fingernails.
are okay?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I want them to look rough. I want to look like I want rough man hands.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I gotcha.
Yeah.
you don't want like long nails in your fucking
No,
snatch
but
either.
Yeah.
no. I mean, I guess there's a fair. I just don't want to feel like I have a toddler touching my.
And I love how
lot.
casually she just called me basically a pussy right there. I want rough man hands, which means that these
Well,
are
I mean,
the
you're a
opposite of all
bartender.
three.
You're
Yeah.
a bartender. I mean, what do you fuck with glasses all day long? Like
Yeah.
I do more. I do harder work on my hands. And
Like what?
I do see. I
Like
also.
this?
Yeah, I mean, no, I do machining too. I work on machines.
For everyone
Yeah.
who didn't watch the video and is listening on iTunes or Spotify, Nick just did the jack off motion on his mic when he
On the
said
mic.
that, which
They
is
got
why
these
we laughed so
these
hard.
BBC mics over here, like just gigantic. The first thing I did when I saw it was try to put my mouth around it.
Try
That's why
to.
I
You
tried to.
managed it.
Now, when a black guy comes and hits on you, do you try to run away?
No, so black guys I've noticed, especially working at the club, I know who the pimps always I'm always like I'm good friends with the pimps. They know they can't pimp me out. They like talk to me, they're like, "Oh, you're hella cool." Like, yeah, I'm like, I don't trick. And they're like, "Oh no, you're just cool to have around. Like, you want some weed?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I want some weed." They're like, "You a little G." I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah, I'm just a little white girl and stuff, but it's so funny. I'm really close with them. I get along with them a lot, and they're hilarious. They're so hilarious.
Yeah, and that's how we met Abby, actually. And I'm not going to say names of the person who threw the parties or anything, because
yeah.
I know that he likes some discretion. But we do these poker parties. And
Private poker party.
Private.
And they hire strippers.
Yeah, and you guys would serve drinks and get tips and do like lap dances in the other room during the
walk
games
around
and
with
stuff.
our tops off. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
the first
awesome.
time when I brought jazz.
Yeah. If I have to, I can go in and bleep that
Yeah,
if
we
you need.
All right,
Yeah.
bleep it out. When I brought homegirl and we just started, they're like, "Take your tops off." I'm like, "All right, $50," and we'll all walk around with our tops off. And, I mean, yeah.
But
that
then
was,
the best part is like it didn't change your attitude or
we're
demeanor
just
at
like,
all.
all right,
You're just
here
like,
we
yeah,
are.
this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it sounds really cool when you say it like that, but then what we leave out is they're in tiny little hotel rooms.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
sketchy at first.
It
You kinda
seems
gotta
like
be
it. But no one
"Ooh,
ever treats you badly.
No,
right?
no, not at all. No. All these guys that are my friends, actually, the second time I went, I wouldn't call him my stepbrother, but he's kind of like a stepbrother. He's related to my family in some way.
Okay.
But I didn't know he was going to be there when I went to the second one, and I showed up. I was like, "You guys need to tell me when my brother's going to be here." Because I walk in some little ranky little outfit, and I'm like, "What's up?" He's
Did
like,
he ask
yeah.
for a lap dance?
no. Well, like, okay, so how it is it's relation. Like, my sister and I have different dads, and her dad married his mom, so not really related at all. But my sister calls him her stepbrother, so kind of easier than explaining that story to
Yeah.
everybody. Super cool dude. Almost died in a canoe twice. He just is accident
Really?
prone. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, one of the times he got hit by a boat in the canoe, and then he took the canoe out. Then after that, on New Year's, I think last year, and him and his buddy were drinking, and they fell out of the canoe in the middle of like Big Lake in the middle of January. And they
Damn.
were
Oh, that's
freezing and
cold.
drunk. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost died. It was like crazy.
It's like,
I was like,
if you're in a canoe though, you can't see the boat coming though, right?
well, yeah, you can see the boat coming, but you can't really move as fast as the boat's
right.
coming.
Well, and these days, with like
People don't give a fuck.
Earbuds and shit. Like he might have been out there rowing with like headphones in it.
No,
or
I don't
something.
know.
You don't
No,
think so?
No.
I bet
No,
some
he
people
was out
do.
there like fucking around drinking.
Okay,
he was out there.
okay.
He was just being stupid. He's a smart, stupid guy.
Like Nick.
Yeah.
That's exactly how to fucking describe me.
That's the only way to describe you. Okay, I wrote down a couple notes of just like some options to talk about. One of them, have you guys seen the trailer for that new Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
I don't have cable.
That's okay.
Nobody has cable.
And
They
I
have
don't have
Netflix
Facebook.
and Amazon.
Yeah, I don't really
you don't
see
have
it.
Facebook?
I don't have Facebook.
No, she got rid of it.
I got Instagram. And not even the sexy Instagram anymore, just my regular Instagram.
I hate those
Your regular
sexy
Instagram is
Instagrams.
cool though.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's full of kids and dogs.
Snowboarding pictures and shit.
Snowboarding
yeah.
pictures, yeah. I
Just
have
the
a great
normal Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
a couple butt ones, I think.
I don't remember seeing any food posts though. I don't.
No,
I don't think it's a
only
totally
post that
normal
on
one.
Snapchat. I'll post my food because I cook. I'm a cooker.
You are.
I am. I'm the best cook I know. I get frustrated going into restaurants and I'm like, this is shit. I could have done this way better.
That sounds
Yeah.
like my brother
Yeah.
Jared.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
yeah, you don't have to have seen the preview.
No, I watched it.
Yeah.
I like it, and the way you look kind of caught me off guard, but I was totally fine with it. But now I heard that they're gonna change them.
That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about. So having seen the trailer doesn't actually matter in this case. What matters is that they released a trailer and the internet was absolutely livid about how they made the
I saw a
character
meme
look.
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Where he's like got a lower crotch and then they make the
Yeah.
other one and it's an upper crotch. So
Yeah.
like, it's a fucking crotch. Like,
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter.
But like the outcry is actually forcing them. They're going back and they're redesigning him based on internet suggestions. And the idea of that I wanted the whole
You're
reason
getting
I wanted.
bullied into doing it.
Yeah, like
Why?
what's the difference between providing your fans with what they want and crossing that line into like
Everyone's gonna go
being
see
bullied?
it anyways
you know?
because it's Sonic. They're gonna go see it because
I
it's
mean,
just the name.
Yeah.
and
In the Super Nintendo version, I don't know if there's any other ones, but it was always a
all
side
attention
view.
is good
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you never really saw the front. I don't know why.
Well, but
they're-
there's all this artwork, on the case and stuff, and he looks one way and then he didn't look like that in the movie. And like, I get it to an extent, but fans seem like it's like they fucking
if it was
own
a
it or
Marvel
something.
movie, they'd be like, "Fuck off."
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. what
Yeah,
they would
so
do.
like, is the internet kind of becoming a little bit too powerful at that point? Or are they just lacking backbones
They
to stand
are,
up and be
'cause
like,
they're
this is
lacking
what we're doing?
backbones. It's not like people are gonna bitch no matter what. It's not like I said about the whole opinion. Their opinion is none of their fucking business. Like, yeah, they're out there for the fans and everything like that, but
Yeah.
they need to. There's a point where they got to just be like, this is how it's gonna be. You're gonna go see it anyways. And
Yeah.
if you're not gonna see it because you like Sonic, you're still gonna see it because you're pissed. Like,
Right,
all
right.
attention's good attention. Like, they're gonna still they're gonna bitch and like. It's still gonna be something to talk about.
And there's still going to be a ton of kids
Look how
and other
huge
people
you're
who-
talking about them right now, just because of this issue.
Yeah,
so
I
know.
it's gonna go.
Yeah,
I
and
tell them to fuck off.
and-
Fuck you, internet.
right. And I couldn't care one way or the other. I don't know if I'll see it. I might, but like, I like to bring up the concept behind it because I was thinking about it. Like, you wouldn't have had that possible even 20 years ago before the internet was so, incorporated
how
into
did
everything.
you get your opinions out before the internet?
How did I? Yeah, you
Yeah,
would
just in
talk to a
general.
few
Bars.
buddies,
Yeah.
write a letter.
Bars. There's a lot more bar fights back then.
Yeah.
People would be like, well, I feel this way about this. And they're like, well, fuck you. And then they start bar fights. Now it's just like, all right, I'm just going to tweet about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
fuck
throw
you.
a
I'm gonna,
tweet.
what's your handle? What's your handle? We'll handle this later. Like, fuck.
Yeah, or like the bar debate's gone because now you can just go, well, I just looked it up on Google and you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Oh my god! Back in the day, you
Google
remember
it.
Cha Cha?
Google it.
You guys remember Cha Cha when you back in like T9 text days,
Yeah.
where you could text Cha Cha and ask it questions and it
No.
answer. It was
Yeah,
like Google
vaguely.
when you didn't have a smartphone. It was like Google when you had like a flip phone. You
Yeah.
text Cha Cha and
Yeah.
be like, "What's the fucking capital of Oregon?" and
Yeah.
it send it back. So me and I had this one girlfriend, and we would just fucking fist fight basic over things. I'm like, I'm right, and it would go on for hours, and it was just great. And then finally we were like, oh, we can cha-cha it, and then we'd like use our flip phones and cha-cha it and see who was right. And it was a lot of like, oh, in your face, like, so
Wow.
that wasn't acceptable, like, easy for it. But if someone's telling me something, I'm like, I don't believe you, I won't even ask, I'll just keep looking at it, I'll just look it up immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
But some of the shit on Google you can't really believe all the time either.
Well, now, real quick, since you mentioned it, I want to know if you know this. What's the capital of Oregon?
Don't say Portland.
Wait.
It's not
no,
Portland.
It's not Portland. It is. Hold on a shit.
Witches. Think of witches.
I know, Salem.
Yeah.
Damn
That's
it!
it.
Do you know what the capital of Washington is?
It's Olympia.
Okay, just making sure. I thought it was
you
Seattle.
guys.
I thought it was
Fucking-
Seattle. I
What's
thought
the
it was
capital of North Dakota?
Bismarck?
I don't know.
No,
I'm
if
just
you
asking.
knew that, okay. He's like, I don't fucking know the answer.
I think it is. Now I want to look it up.
No,
Google it, dude.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah.
Google it.
I thought, I actually thought
Like-
until about a year ago that we lived in South America.
California, like California, the capital is
Bam,
is it?
motherfuckers.
Capital's
Bismarck.
fucking
You
Sacramento.
looked that up before we started. He's like, I'm gonna come out with an interesting
was-
fact and just know it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was his. Well, you got pre-planned. I don't know what you guys do when I'm not here.
We just know.
You
But,
wouldn't be sitting in that chair if you did.
but like California, people would think it would be LA and it's Sacramento. Like some states are kind of like not obvious of what their capital is. What?
You know what's fun? Someone
I
brought
mean-
this up on, I hate to bring up Facebook, but it was an interesting post, and they go, is Washington the only state where you have to say state at the end of it?
I think.
Washington
I think it
State.
is.
No, because you say Washington or you say Washington D.C. It's a lot easier to say D.C. than state.
I hear it
I
goes
was
always
in
get
Washington. I
confused
was in
sometimes.
Washington D.C. actually like 3 weeks ago. I was in Washington D.C. and I just
Oh,
called it.
really?
Everyone there calls it D.C.
Did you bone Abraham Lincoln while you were there?
Didn't bone anyone, but I did ask to see my sister's husband's dick. Yeah, we went out drinking because me and my sister never really got a chance to drink when she was out here because I was off fucking around and like we weren't that close, you know. And then she moved away, I got my shit together, and I went out to visit. We went to the bar, and I don't like shots. I'm a beer girl all the way. But she's like, I'll do shots. I was like, okay, like, you know, what's the easy one? She's like, tequila. I'm like, okay. So I do like 4 shots of tequila. She didn't finish 2 of hers. Some random guys bought us some, and I get back to her house. And I guess I don't remember a lot of this, but I guess I jumped on her bed and her husband was passed out drunk before we even left. And I guess in the midst of everything, I asked to see his dick. And I asked her the next morning, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why. She's like, no, it came up in a context where it's funny. You weren't just
Okay.
like, show me
And
your dick.
did
I
it
like
happen?
said it.
Let me see
Not that I
pretty
remember.
dick.
I don't think it happened. If it did, I'm sorry, I don't remember. It must have not been too great. But I don't know. So that was interesting. That was fun though. That was a good time. Me and my sister. They have a good video of me trying to walk out of their bedroom, just falling to the ground. And my niece like took my shoes and socks off for me. The full on. I woke up in the guest bedroom and there's a bed made on the floor. I was like, oh, did you put my kid to sleep on the floor? They're like, no, you fell asleep on the floor. I was like, oh, okay then.
You get to be that aunt.
Yeah, I know. I've always been that aunt. I am always that aunt for sure. I've toned down a lot. I've calmed down a bit.
For now.
Yeah.
Does that Ritalin work?
I'm not on
Sorry.
Ritalin.
Oh,
I'm
just kidding.
I'm self-diagnosed. I always say I have ADD, ADHD. I just smoke a lot of dabs. I take dabs for everything and drink a lot of Red Bull.
That stuff
Yeah.
is so potent.
Oh, see, I take a dab. The first thing I do before I go to work every morning, as I get up, I take a dab, and I'm out the door. I get up at 5, or I get up at 4, and I'm out the door at 4:30. Like no questions asked at the same time. I don't even need to look at
Like
my
it
phone.
doesn't like phase you.
Well, I mean, I get high.
Yeah.
I get high, but I continue on with my life.
Oh.
I'm just doing it high. Like I'm one of those. I'm a functional alcoholic
Yeah.
stoner. Like I seem to focus a lot better when I'm stoned, and then it just really depends. I don't know.
I've noticed that too. I'd stopped smoking weed for almost my entire 20s. And then just a couple years ago, started doing it again when it became legalized and a lot more acceptable. And I had never done it like before going to work or anything before in my life until I started bartending and doing that. And I just found that like I was able to work better. I was having more fun and a better outlook.
Attitude, yeah.
Yeah. And like I've always wanted to go in and get diagnosed for like some kind of depression or something because I've done therapy.
Nope, I don't want to know.
But the weed helps a lot.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
really
It
does.
I don't want to know. They're gonna. When I was younger, they wanted to prescribe me with like depression, like bipolar, all that stuff, and have me hopped up on like lithium, Depakote, Seroquel, all this
Yeah.
crazy shit. And I was like, fuck this. Like I was like, basically when I was diagnosed with all that stuff too, I was a drug addict. So I was like, I'm not fucked up. I'm on drugs. Like I'm not mentally disabled. I know I shouldn't be doing these. I just like to get high. Like that's all it
Yeah.
was. That's all it was. And so when I finally got clean off all that stuff and figured my shit out, I could tell I do have manic. I feel my highs and lows, but fuck it. You know what? I'll take some CBD. I'll smoke some weed, and I'm fine. And I can. I'm equipped to mentally handle it now and stuff. So
Yeah,
I don't. And if I do have some of that, I don't need to go to a doctor.
It's
Like,
crazy how they really like the government doesn't legalize weed yet for medical reasons. They still give people a hard time.
Yeah, no, I mean it's pretty. It's so lax now. It's like it's it's on its way. I think it's on its way of getting pretty federally legal. Like, it's too beneficial. It's been proven to be too beneficial. It'll continue to be proven beneficial because it's not bad.
Especially from the tax point of view. Now that they've seen how it's done in Washington and Colorado for so long,
exactly.
Everyone wants a piece of that.
Fixed left and right. Yeah.
Fix up your schools a little bit, you know?
Fixing up schools off that weed money.
Yeah, but it sucks for you if you're doing the black market trade. And I mean, I felt hits on that back in the day. I was like, well, fuck, it's legal now. But I mean, everyone's gonna love the next door the guy next door that sells weed. Everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the quality has gotten so much better in states where they have it legalized, and there's just so many benefits. And there's, you know, you'd cut the prison population in fucking half if you were able to decriminalize all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many benefits to doing it, and like zero reason not to. It's just a power move at this point, and I think that the people in power are trying to wait to trade it for something that they really want. You know what I mean?
That makes
we'll
sense
legalize this federally if
you guys do it this way,
or let's repeal abortion or whatever it is. They're waiting. They're waiting to try and. That's the thing. They're waiting to do like a really disturbing trade.
Yeah, it will be probably disturbing.
Yeah, I mean that's all
Hopefully
that happens
not,
at that level.
Did you watch the Endgame?
No.
You didn't?
No, I fell asleep in the first one. I bring wine into the movie theaters with me, and I end up passing out. I fell asleep in the first one, and I keep trying to watch it, but I never quite make it to the end.
Are you a fan of like the Marvel movies?
I
am.
I love Iron Man. I love all those movies. Robert Downey Jr. is I'd rape him.
What was that text? Like something about letting your kid stay at his house or something?
Oh yeah, we were talking about one of your podcasts about Michael Jackson.
Oh
letting
yeah,
your kids stay with Michael Jackson. I was like, I don't know. I kind of see where you're coming from, because I mean, if Robert Downey Jr. was like, hey, can Max stay at my house? I'd be like, fuck yeah. Like,
can I too?
Yeah, me too. Like, obviously, I wouldn't just like hand him over to a stranger, but I mean, I think I got a pretty good vibe from all his movies. I feel like he's not a weirdo. I mean, I feel like you look at Michael Jackson and
there was signs.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, you're cool and everything. Like, if you want to go grab drinks, man, like, that's fine. Like, rest in peace, like, everything with that. But I don't know about letting my kids stay with you.
Did you like Michael Jackson?
I do.
Like his songs?
I do like Billie Jean. Kind of gets me in that kind of sassy mood. Like, I could just
Is that
feel
your stripper song?
No.
Okay.
I listen to like Korn and Mudvayne, a lot of Metallica
for stripping.
Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson. Some of my favorite stuff to dance to. It's because I'm not really good. I don't do a lot of pole work. I kind of just throw myself around and look like I'm gonna get fucked really hard. Like. And it seems to appeal to the crowd.
Works.
Yeah, it does. No, it works, and it appeals to the crowd I want to appeal to. I appeal to like the trucker guys, like the biker guys and stuff, and I can stay away. The girls that dance to like the rap and all that, they get like the younger dudes like, oh my gosh, shake that booty. Like, and I don't. Like, I like the older guys. I like the older, mature guys. The way if you're not gonna pay me, at least they're cool. They're at least solid.
Do you like put on a face that you like being there? Because I've noticed women, they just act like they don't want to be there. They look depressed while they're on the pole.
I look like that when I'm sitting at the bar and I'm kind of like just got off a stage or done dances and I'm sitting at the bar waiting for my drink and I'm like checking my phone or whatever. Everyone says I look really pissed off because when I'm there, I have my hair all straight and blonde and my makeup all perfect and I look really like do. And then you talk to me, I'm like, oh, what's up? I'm like, how are you? And like I get a lot of when I am denied dances, I get a lot of like, you're really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, you gotta pay me. And they're like, oh yeah, no, it's not. I'm like, fuck. And they're like, but you're cool. I'm like, yeah, well, if I was cool, I'd be, you know, pay me. Like, that's what you're here for.
Pay me, money.
And stuff. But yeah, no, I don't. When I'm there, I'm having a great time, and that's part of why I like dancing to the rock music. Because when I'm up there, I get really in a formal kind of way, and I love it, and I feel the music, and I throw myself around, and it's music I've been listening to my whole life, so I know when the breaks are. I know when to like kind of do that drop to the floor and be like.
Have you ever had to have anybody get kicked out?
Not on my terms. I didn't ask for them to be kicked out, but someone overheard me talking about a guy doing some weird stuff where I was kind of like, whatever, you know, not my place. I'm not, whatever.
Okay, now how about this? So you're there, you're working, the stage is going fine and all that, but you're not really, like, no one's approaching you for dances. What, if you're going to walk up to a guy like Nick or myself and try to, like, get us to buy you a dance, like, what are some of your tactics?
Some of my tactics? Man, I don't really have a go-to, like, phrase. The one time I watched Pretty Woman before I went to work, and there's a thing she does when they're doing the hook and stuff. She goes up, she's like, what's your name? And he's like, Paul. She's like, that's my favorite name.
Oh, God.
I did that a couple times where I'd go up to the guy and I'm like, hey, I'm Daytona. That's my dancer name is Daytona. And they're like, oh, hi, Daytona. I'm Rick. I'm like, oh, that's my favorite name. They're like, what? I'm like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, scoot over and like I'll sit next to them. I'm like, what are you drinking? I'm like, yeah, I'm here having a good time. I'm gonna dance naked and I'm having fun. And I just make it seem like I'm having a great time and like touch them and kind of just see what I ask them questions. And as soon as they start on a topic, whatever topic it is, I can go on and on about it for hours. So I just kind of tell them anything personal experience to me. I don't really lie to them. I kind of act the same in strip clubs that I act with you guys.
There's a lot of stereotypes when it comes to strippers.
Oh, yeah.
In the past, I've always wanted to like just go on a date with one. So we were at a strip club and this one chick was hanging out with me, probably because I had money. Sucker. But I asked her if she'd want to go out on a date. She's like, I'm sure. I don't think you want to do that. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. So she like gave me her number and I called. She didn't answer and I texted her. I was like, hey, you want to go out this night? She's like, yeah, sure. She's all, well, just one thing you should know is, you know, I'm addicted to heroin. I'm like, all right then.
Oh, by the way.
She just came out with it like that?
Yeah, I was like,
wow.
never mind.
Well,
never mind.
That was nice of her.
I know.
Better than picking her up and her being like, hold on real fast. Let me just, like, no. At least she told you. That's funny. I mean, I've gone out with a couple guys, like, not exactly gone out from the clubs, but I do have one of the guys I used to stay with when I'd go down to Portland. I met him at one of the clubs I worked at, and we connected over our love for BMWs, and like he showed me 2 BMWs. He showed me like an older one and then a newer one. I was like, I like the older body styles better. And we became friends. That's actually who I bought my runner from. And we became friends, and we would be like, so I went out with him. Like, he's like, you can come back to my house and dab after work if you want. And I'm like, whatever. He seems cool enough. So I went back to his house and dabbed, and he had his dog there, his roommate there. A bunch of other dancers like knew him and came over there, and like he ended up being really cool, and I ended up being able to stay there for a while. He moved to Tahoe now, but like, so like I'll give guys a chance. Like, I'll give them my number and be like, we can hang out. And if they're like, oh, you want to go there? I'm like, honestly, I'm not interested like that. I'm like, but if you want to grab beer when I'm in town, like, let's do it. Like, I'm always down for like hanging out and stuff. But yeah, there's been a couple times though where I've given out the number to the wrong person.
Fuck.
And so like, okay, so we've gone over like the embarrassing or whatever stories from there, but what about what's like a really good success story, or like just the best night you had stripping, or the best experience?
$10,000 night.
Oh yeah, well.
Whoa.
I had this sugar daddy, and
like right now?
No, recently.
Okay.
Though. He was a recent one. Cut him off. He was trying to do extras, which I am not about.
What does extra mean?
I don't suck dick for money.
Oh,
I'm not a prostitute.
Gotcha.
I am a stripper. I make my money the correct way. Yes, there is manipulation.
So you have
that goes
to like
into
the guy to suck his dick. Is that how it works?
Basically, yeah. You gotta, yeah.
So if you did that and then a guy just like threw $50 at you, you'd like punch him?
They're gonna pay one way or another. They're gonna pay one way or another. One way or another. They're either buying my Plan B or they're buying me dinner. So one way or another. But no, this guy, he was really weird, and I approached him, and I was like, hey, would you like a dance, you know? And he actually said no. He was like, I like bustier women. I got little boobs. I got tiny little boobs. I'm okay with them, but he was like, I like bustier women, and it's not uncommon for you to ask someone in a strip club, like, for them to be like, no, you're not my type.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for. You're
and that's
paying money.
understandable,
Yeah, and
right?
I understand that. So I was like, okay, no problem. And right then, they called me to go on stage for my set. Go on stage for my set, and I'm doing my thing on stage, and he actually comes up to my set, and he's like, I actually changed my mind. I'm like, oh, you like what you see, don't you? When I'm sitting up there butt naked, he's like, yeah, I changed my mind. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll give you a dance. And I'm giving him a dance, and he's talking about all this money he's got and all this stuff starting to annoy me. And I'm like, okay, listen, man.
I don't like that.
Yeah, and see, that's what I said. I was like, I don't really care how much money you have. Thank you for the dances. If you want to get more, cool. And he's like, what, you don't believe me? He's like, I could buy you a car. I could buy you a diamond ring. I'm like, oh, yeah, you can buy me a diamond ring. He's like, yeah, you don't believe me? I'm like, not. I mean, I hear this stuff all the time. Sorry, dude, I don't believe you. He's like, all right, grab my wallet. And I'm like, okay. And I grab his wallet off this table in the dance room. And he's like, take all the money out of it just to show good faith that I will bring you a diamond ring tomorrow.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And I pull out like $300 from his wallet. I'm like, okay, like.
That's a pretty good faith deposit,
yeah,
you know?
And then motherfucker comes to the club next day with a fucking diamond ring, receipt, everything, just in case I didn't like it and I wanted it to return it. And I'm like, okay, after that point, I like gave him my number. Continued. I went to dinner with him a couple times, and I would just kind of give him little sob stories like I got rent or I got childcare or whatever, and then he would just come to the club and he would give it to me at the club, and just I think a total of he gave me $4,800 one time because I said I had to move.
What was the ring worth?
$900 was on the receipt. I actually tried to pawn it recently, but I can't really pawn it for anything, and so I'm kind of stuck with it. But whatever.
I feel like having a vagina has like way more ups than downs.
You say that,
know?
you say that, but
Think
like
of all the
I feel
maintenance
like
that goes into it,
well,
man.
I was gonna say
just
it's
one
a lot.
bloody
It's
streak
not
once
the
a month.
vagina, it's the mind. Like we have to be
Yeah.
in a certain mind state. We got to say a lot of things that are uncomfortable, and we got to deal with a lot of things that are uncomfortable,
Oh,
and
for
we got to
sure.
present ourselves in a certain way. So it's a lot of mind fuck. Like it's a lot of like reading people and a lot of being able to respond to that. Guys, you can just like take my dick how I am. Like you guys don't gotta think too hard about it. You are what you are.
That's true.
Yeah. And I'm not being sexist or anything, but that is just how it is.
It's a little sexist.
And
that's
like
fine.
girls can go into
talk.
stripping.
I know.
Whereas girls can go into stripping, you guys get out of high school and get a fuck around for 3 years and find some union construction job and fucking making hella money doing that. And it's I feel like a lot more difficult for females to do that. And I mean, I pushed myself to kind of break that limitation by going into machining like on my own.
Yeah.
And stuff, but so we got stripping, you guys got regular old manly man jobs like
welding and shit.
Yeah, yeah,
My
exactly.
stepsister, or formerly,
I'm not
she
saying
was
women
growing
can't
up.
do it. I'm just saying that it's just more typical. Like, and then you guys want to say we got stripping, you got that. Take your own.
I mean, in sex work in general, it's faced such a really rough
It's
stigma.
not sex work. It's performing art.
Right.
Oh,
but,
sorry.
no,
It's not stripping, it's dancing.
No, that's
No,
fair.
I'm a stripper. I'm a stripper.
But I just want to make a blanket statement that stripping falls under because you are working with, your body and nudity and stuff. So let's just, for the moment, call it sex work.
Okay.
Like with camming or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So all of that has faced such a negative stereotype because of all the shame that people have, back to slut shaming that we were talking about. And I know so many people like yourself. I have a friend who lives down in California who's a stripper who has like a master's degree in journalism or
Yeah.
something. And
That's
like,
why she's stripping.
well,
Just
yeah,
kidding.
but like she's also worked in, production and stuff like that.
okay.
Super intelligent woman, and she's kind of brought a lot of issues to light that I would have never considered myself on the side of. Just trying to advocate for people who do that work and making it
Yeah.
more safe and making it more acceptable.
Yeah.
And it should be acceptable because everything we do for work uses our bodies in some way. Why does taking the clothes off of it have to be
Exactly.
where the line's drawn,
Yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
not just
and I
because I'm a
understand that.
pervert, but like it should all be fair,
Well,
It should be equal.
we're providing a service that's in demand. That's all it is.
Yeah,
like
it is.
we provide a service that is in demand, and like I'm not saying every girl is completely clean on what they do, but that's just like, I mean, how they make their money.
I feel
why
like
the
you
fuck
can
do you
make
care?
money more
Yeah.
doing it like online though.
Online,
Instead-
well, yeah, you can, and I tried going about that a while ago when I first became a single parent. I like kind of looked into it, and I mean, it wasn't. I did like the Snap Premium stuff for a little bit, and it's just like, it was just like I didn't have the time or like the equipment or anything like that. Like
you should have just started
I got
off
a
slow, be
3-year-old.
like videos of my feet.
I had a guy that wanted videos of pictures of their feet, but I couldn't send mine because I got man feet. I got big feet. So I had to get a picture from one of my girlfriends. I was like, "Yo, send me a picture of your feet." And I was like,
man.
"Oh, by the way, I sold those for $50."
Okay, so let's go one step removed from you. And what's the craziest thing you have seen or heard of a coworker at a strip club doing? Like no names, but like just what's the
Yeah,
craziest
I mean,
thing?
Well, there's this one girl that during music songs, or during the songs when they stopped, it's kind of silent for a second, and she was giving dances to this one guy, and right when the song stopped, you hear her go, "Never want to wash your fingers now," or something like that. And like the bastard just went in the back. He's like, "You out, you out." Like I was like,
wow.
"Oh, right at the wrong time." Like the
Now,
music just
are
stopped.
you,
She's
like,
like, "You never
not
want to
a-
wash those fingers
Are
again."
you not allowed to do that stuff?
No. No.
That's prostitution,
That's
man.
prostitution. No, absolutely not. And the club I work at right now is actually really strict on that, which is nice and stuff. It kind of weeds out the bad girls and make it
Yeah.
harder for girls like me who don't do extra stuff. Because like if I go and ask a guy for a dance and it's 3 for $100 and the girl's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna suck your dick for $100," who do you think he's gonna pick?
Ooh.
He's gonna pick her.
I've always wanted. Do they like really shorten up the fucking songs? Like
Yeah, sometimes, and I only know that because I listen to songs I like, and I'll be like, "Hey, I missed. There's a beat there."
Yeah, like if and I haven't actually gotten one in years. Like at one of the parties that you worked, I did pay for one, but we pretty much just chatted through
yeah,
most of
exactly. He got some dances for me, and we just kind of talked the whole time.
it. Yeah, because she's awesome, but
I'm
like
big
I
for
wanted
me.
to support that she was there and all that. But like, so I haven't done it in a while, but I feel like if I did, I'd want to go up to like the DJ and be like, hey, can you just put on like anything by Tool? Here's $20.
No, that's all. I listen to like Tool. That's really
like,
Tool and Chevelle is really
like
nice
7-minute songs and shit.
No, they got it. They cut them short there. You guys should come to Portland sometime.
I used to live there. I fucking love it. What clubs do you like to work down there?
No.
You don't like that one?
No, I'm thinking Casa Diablo or Devil's Point, maybe.
No, I don't work. No, I worked at Gold Club for a while. No.
That's here.
I think that's here. And then I worked at Deviate in Rose City for a while, which are the rock clubs. And right now I'm at Dolphin 2 in Beaverton.
Yeah. I used to live almost right by that.
So you just do Oregon, you don't do Washington?
No, God,
Washington's
no.
bad?
Terrible rules, too. Yeah.
Terrible rules. You can't drink in the clubs. You got to pay like $200 a night to work there.
Well, like one of the strippers let me like drink some of her drink because they go back and pour alcohol in there.
But that's super illegal.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to get, it's really uncomfortable if you're to get fucked up in a place like that where you're not allowed to get fucked up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my God, what do I do? It's like, but in Portland, it's like, oh, fucking Daytona's drunk again. And it's like, yep, there I am. Like it's a lot more, it's safe in that manner because they know you're drinking and they know what you're doing. And that's why I like Portland. I feel safer in those clubs than I do in, like I worked actually at Pandora's for 3 days on Lake City Way, and I worked there for 3 days.
Oh,
like,
Seattle? Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, never coming back here, ever again. Not smashing anybody that works there or whatever. It just was not for me. You girls get it, but it's not a club for me.
Is it just stricter rules or just
there's
just
no
do whatever?
rules.
Oh,
and then the
gotcha.
bouncer was stupid and told me how some chick got like beheaded. I don't know if he was lying or what, but he was like, yeah, a couple years ago, a girl that worked here, we found her body down the road and her head somewhere else. And I was like, yeah, see ya, like never working here again. So I don't know if that was like, I don't know if he was just
kind of ghetto.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think he might have just said that to scare me away because I was already feeling hesitant about the club, and he was kind of just like, let's just push her over the edge right here. And I was like, all right, cool.
On the flip side of that, maybe he was like under exaggerating, and maybe the real story was that there was 3 of them without heads. Maybe he was trying to put on a good face.
It's depending if you're looking at the glass half full or empty. But either way, not going back there again. And I like the separation from living in Seattle and going out there. Like I can go to Portland, do my thing, come back home.
Yeah.
And
So real quick, when we were texting, you told me that you already knew what my problem was with dating. And before we end this episode, I just want to hear you call me out for it because I want to learn a little bit.
No,
I did want to talk about this, Kate. You're like a really great guy, and I don't.
He
he is.
See, and you just said it. You just said it right there.
I don't understand because of the situation that just happened recently.
Oh,
Yeah.
he sent me those screenshots too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like shitty on her part for missing out, and I don't understand what the problem was. But I've never been around you like going on a date or around
he hasn't
girls.
taken you.
So
I'm the bomb at like planning and executing dates. Just something
It's
about
just
the time you're
too-
spending that just
How was the date? I need to know what was the date. What did you guys do?
the first date.
Yeah, what was it like?
The first date, we I picked her up. I had some flowers, but not roses, the good kind.
Okay.
And picked
Fail
her up.
right there, right away.
Handed her the aux cord to my stereo so she could pick the music while I drove. And we went up to
Okay, that's
Anacortes, got on a ferry, went over to Friday Harbor
that's just too much.
to eat at the only vegan restaurant I
Yeah,
could find
so
there.
much,
and
so
then came
much.
back. It was cheap. All we were doing was like hanging out and talking because
Yeah,
you're just
that's
writing.
too much. That's too much for me. That's
Too much.
Too much for me. Like I said, I have a totally different perspective on that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
First
see-
off, you want to bring her alcohol, not roses.
We ended up going to a bar. at the
Yeah,
end,
but I mean, I just don't like. I like first dates to be a little more. I mean, I just feel like that's
Maybe-
awkward. I don't like
Okay.
gifted and like the whole fairy thing. It's like. I want to go do something interactive. I want to go do something physical.
Well, see, I'm like that too. I do the romance aspect, but maybe the first date fill her out for something
exactly. Because
easy.
you don't know if every girl, if you end up with a girl like me, where I'm gonna be like, I mean, thanks for the flowers. Where's my sparkling hard seltzer? Like,
Well, and like it's not like I met her online or anything. It was like she came into the bar at one point. She's the one who asked me out, so I planned all
So
this.
she initiated
Yeah,
it.
and like we were holding hands through the whole thing, and it felt like a really good date. She loved it. We went back. We got drinks after. The second one, we got some dinner and then played pool for a couple hours while drinking.
That's so good. Like pool is like the easiest way to go. If you
Yeah.
like, let's go to Razzles, grab
You
some beer, and play pool.
You
That's
should have
it.
tried ping pong ball.
Should have tried playing ping pong. Yeah.
Yeah, from now on, I'm bringing the flowers, some alcohol, and a little
Here.
bag of ping pong balls. And we'll just see how long
beer
it takes.
pong? Oh yeah. Oh, God.
Well, like, so yeah, maybe it was even a little bit overboard, but like it
Yeah.
felt good in the moments, and
I
then
felt good. I mean, but girls are so easy about like hiding what they like and what they want and stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, for me, my thing is if a guy's, I am such a difficult piece of shit, and I am seeing someone right now, and he could tell you that too. And he's been my best friend for 3 years. He made it out of the friend zone. Good for him.
It took 3 years.
it
Jesus
happens.
Christ.
It can happen.
It took
It can happen.
It took 3 years, and
Why do you put him in the friend zone though? If you know he's a great guy.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't mean to put him in the friend zone. It just happened. We just ended up becoming best friends during all these years and like doing stuff together. And I was always doing my own thing, like fucking around with fuckboys, and he was doing his own thing. We were just like friends, and then somehow it progressed after 3 years. We just realized it was like we're really
not
good
like
together.
she consciously put him in the friend zone, but
Right.
they just started off as friends.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff. But my thing is, and he knows it too. It's like I'm the type of person. If you're too nice, I think you're a pussy, and like I can take advantage of you, and I don't want to do that. And then if you're too girls, like I'm
gotta
not
find
speaking
a
for every
median.
girl. Yeah, I'm not speaking for every girl when I say this. I'm just saying that when you're mean to a girl, it kind of creates like the cat mouse chase. It kind of creates the domination, like. Is he going to dominate me? Am I going to dominate him? And if not, it becomes like a rivalry almost. And people get off on that. I feel like a lot of people get off on like trying to one up the other person and trying like they like that witty banter back and forth. And so if you're just giving them all the laughs and you're not making them feel like shit a little bit, they're just going to be like,
Well,
okay.
you're right.
Yeah. They're just going to be like, okay, this guy's going to like, cool. Yeah, he's nice to me, makes me feel good, but there's no challenge. There's no challenge there.
Interesting.
There's nothing to make him want me. Like, and girls love like working towards being wanted. We love being like, well, look at this, or like, you're not that great yourself. Like, we just like doing that. That's how I'm hardwired.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to admit it and stuff. I'm not saying every girl's like that, but I feel like majority of girls, they want to challenge.
Like, so not like smacking you in the face or anything.
No, smack her on the ass.
No, yeah, and see, like, you can beat me behind closed doors, but out in public, like, I want there to be like a good sort of argument, like.
Yeah, and that could very well be this last one, and I'm not going to call out names, and I'm not going to spend every podcast talking about my failed dates, but in this particular case, she was very intelligent, and I was, into her and stuff, but like, for some reason around her and maybe 2 other people in my life that I've ever met, I lose all of my intelligence and wit, and I felt like an idiot the whole time.
Oh.
But like normally I'm pretty articulate and witty.
Yeah, you are.
And I feel like I had to keep telling her that, and other people were telling her that, and she's like, "Really? I'm not seeing it."
You can't tell them. I don't like people that want to tell me who they are. I want to see it. Like, if you gotta be like, "Oh, I'm such a good guy," or "I do this," I'm like, "No, you're not." If you gotta tell me, you're trying to convince yourself of it right now. Let me see it for that, because I don't believe it.
Yeah. And I mean, in my case, I only said it not to try and brag or big myself up, but I was so surprised that I wasn't able to speak well around her or anything that I was like, I'm not normally like this. It was almost a panic statement, like maybe this will buy me some time and understanding. Nope.
No.
Just failed.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one. I mean, there's more out there.
We can always try going the gay route. I'll go with you.
Every
Bar Mix.
episode.
We go to Bar Mix.
It's closed.
Bar Mix is closed?
Yeah.
I
had to go there once.
I saw one of my buddies make out with another dude there.
What?
He's engaged to a girl now, but like, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like, it was shocking. We all kind of knew it, but we got him drunk enough and he did it. Yeah, they had a stripper pole.
Wait, what do
there.
you mean by knew it? Like
He just seemed kind of gay. He just seems kind of gay. Like, and he's not. He's engaged to a girl, and like he likes girls, but he's probably just like that was his time to be like, let's see this, let's try this. And like I
Right.
do it all the time.
Wow.
I'll randomly hook up with girls to see if I'm a lesbian, and I'm like, I can't quite fully go there. Like I'll like if there's a guy around, yeah, I'll fuck a girl too. But I'm like, I don't know about one-on-one with a girl.
Yeah,
I like dick.
I guess you
there's
gotta
no-
suck a dick if you like sucking dick.
Exactly.
Well, and there's no reason that we should be defined by our sexual preferences in any way.
No.
There's people out there who like fuck inanimate objects as like
I do all the
kink
time.
or something,
Yeah.
There's a
Not
guy.
like marital aids, but like some guy will go fuck a couch or something. You know what I mean?
I get a dry hump going sometimes. Couch can really do it for me. I can do a couch.
Oh, mama bought a zucchini.
Oh man, the first time I caught my parents watching porn, it was that chick. The one would take vegetables and shave them into dicks and fuck them. Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
I really hope my parents never hear this.
I really hope mine never hears this.
I know, dude.
My mom would probably be cool with it. She's like, oh, that girl.
Oh my god. Well, I really fucking hate to cut this, but we are right at that point, man.
All
This has
right.
been an amazing goddamn episode.
Good,
It was
good.
funny.
I've been
I'm
laughing
glad.
my
Good.
ass off.
Good.
Thank you, Abby.
I'm happy to assist.
Do you got any people you want to shout out or anything before we?
No shout outs. I mean, a couple.
Shout out to the ping pong guy.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
What up? I mean, yeah.
Thanks, ping pong guy.
Thanks, ping pong guy. I'm actually seeing him tonight, so that'll be I'm seeing him tonight. He's coming out to
You're
throw
gonna
a show
have
at
to have
Sub-
him listen to this episode.
Yeah, he's throwing a show at Substation, and so I'm gonna go out and sometimes they'll let me fuck around with the lights and everything.
Nice.
But yeah, super cool dude and everything. So excited to see that crew. They are the ones that opened me up to my whole being.
Your whole being.
Being.
A human
Flicking the
being.
bean.
Yeah, flicking the bean.
All right, guys, this has been another episode of Cheeky Shenanigans.
It'll be a dirty one.
Probably the dirtiest one we've done, and I love it. Yes.
You're welcome.
So once again, my name is Jesse, Random Hero,
And I'm Punkass.
and this is
I'm
Abby.
Flabby.
Flabby.
Flabby. This has been such an amazing time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
And we is out.